Sometimes I try to imagine what Dorothy would, how she would relate to the world we're living in now, and certainly how she would relate to young people. She would encourage them, just look around and see where there is something that goodness could spark and be about doing it.
In the heart of the Amazon, where the forest whispers the stories of courage and compassion, Sister Dorothy Stang devoted her life to serving God, His creation, and the people who live there. Born in Dayton, Ohio in 1931, Dorothy Mae Stang felt an early call to serve. It was during her junior year in high school that her best friend, Joan Krim, said, "I'm joining the Sisters of Notre Dame in Cincinnati." And Dorothy said, "Not without me, you aren't." So she made special arrangements with Julienne and Mount Notre Dame to finish her education at Mount Notre Dame, but still receive her diploma as a Julienne grad. As a sister of Notre Dame de Namur, Dorothy dedicated her life to faith and social justice. This commitment led her to the Amazon, where for over 40 years she championed the rights of the poor, worked towards sustainable farming, and advocated for land rights.
I'm Sister Judy Clemens. I'm a sister of Notre Dame de Namur. The first time I met Dorothy was in Arizona. When I was a teacher, Dorothy asked for a couple of sisters to come down to Phoenix, but then to go to Puerto Peñasco in Mexico, it's just across the border, to do the religious education with the kids. So that was in 1963. Sometimes for us as her sisters, we would call her stubborn. But a really better way to say it is that she was so single-hearted. It was so clear to her, God and God's goodness, both with human persons and also with the environment. It was all one. When you think of Dorothy, Dorothy was just like so ordinary and, would not stand out in anyone's crowd, but she had a depth perception that if you couple that with her single-heartedness, it tells you a lot about Dorothy. Dorothy is a world citizen, and people take her story and weave goodness. That's what it's all about. That's the legacy, weaving goodness. Dorothy had a very, very clear vision of community, of sharing, and sharing goodness. Those who were threatened by Dorothy's work were those who have a misunderstanding of what we need. The famous words of Dorothy, we need to ask ourselves more what we need and not what we want. And so the rancher was a man of greed. He just wanted more. He had plenty for what he needed. And so it's that idea, the threat was that it could be shared. So the threat was in the sharing of the world's goods. Goodness can threaten people. It can call you to take another look at your life, at life in general. And, the threat was, well, if we get rid of her, then, these people will all be scared. If we make them scared enough, they'll run. And that didn't happen because the people had this realization of the goodness. Wherever Dorothy lived, there were flowers, there were fruit trees, she's always had seeds that she was planting. It was an intimate relationship with life, and it so was a part of who she was. The first person, when Dorothy was martyred, who uttered these words was one of our farm workers. And he said, "We are not burying Dorothy. We are planting her." And that he already had that vision of the continuance of the legacy, the continuance of the goodness, of the possibilities. And that is so powerful for us.
More than 20 years after her martyrdom, Sister Dorothy's life, values, and faith are woven into CJ. Her story inspires us to hear and answer God's call in our own lives. So Capstone's been in existence at CJ for over 10 years. On average, it's over 40 projects a year. So that's over 400 seeds that have been planted in honor of Sister Dorothy, 400 seeds of justice work in her honor. And our students are learning to become servant leaders.
Hi, I'm Lacey Liette.
Hi, I'm Casey Wynn.
This year we were lucky to receive the Sister Dorothy Stang Award for our capstone project.
Our capstone was really based on Sister Dorothy's impact.
For an activity we did with the Our Lady of the Rosary girls, we did a body image activity where we let the girls come up to the front and write their insecurities or me names they've called other people or have called or been called. And I think after that activity, we felt a lot of change in the girls' demeanor. They were way more comfortable, and we kind of felt Sister Dorothy's her energy of goodness and her change for her community. We felt like we were kind of like Sister Dorothy
For the girls, yeah.
Through Capstone, students are inspired by Sister Dorothy's faith in her life, whether it's addressing deforestation, cleaning up the rivers, creating a sustainable project here at CJ, working with immigrant families in our own Dayton community. Justice is always at the heart of their work. So Sister Dorothy's life and mission lives on through our students.
As we remember and memorialize Dorothy Stang, we know that faith leads us to act,
To serve. To stand.
Today we continue her mission, living as people of compassion, justice, and faith.